So trying to maintain my rep as the positive guy on the internet here, a good thing about this show that I really did like was the animation, especially the character design. I thought that was really good, reminiscent of some of the Darkham Venture Brothers stuff, and you know how much I like my Venture Bros. But that's pretty much the only good thing I can say about it because nothing else worked here. Everything about the Velma character was just terrible. She was mean, she was snarky, and yet three people were trying to get with her. Why? It didn't make any sense. There was nothing redeemable or nice about her, and that's like kind of her thing. She seems to be very much aware of that.
So I lost my phone for 24 hours. But I had to find you because I still don't know if you listened to my VMs, voicemails, let alone responded. Did you?
Yes, and I don't want to do our math homework together. Just email me your answers like always.
I'd literally
It didn't
wear a
help that
bikini
Mindy
to
Khan's
school
line
every
deliveries
day.
are
hairless,
just so
Velma.
bad.
I haven't
They're just
finished
so
going through puberty
flat.
yet. I'm a
You know,
late
Glenn
bloomer.
Hawthorne, God
How
love
else
him,
are
he's
my
doing his
features so
best in this.
boyishly
He's given this
delicate?
character
The
a
father says that
personality. It's an
people know
annoying as fuck
they'll
personality,
laugh.
but that's what the
Never
character
respect
needed,
me
I
as a
guess.
man and
Sam Richardson did a really good job of making Norville, aka Shaggy, really likable. But everyone else just phoned that shit in. I mean, Constance Wu is faced with the Daphne dilemma, which you'll see through a lot of the Scooby-Doo incarnations over the years. It's not a super interesting character. I'm no Scooby-Dooologist or Scooby-Doo expert, but I think Be Cool Scooby-Doo did the best work with it.
I can't believe you grew up like this.
Enormous wealth is overrated, unless you want to buy lots of stuff.
Daphne?
Bradwick!
Daphne Blake, it's been ages.
Bradwick and I have known each other since childhood.
Look at you, absolutely stunning.
Right, that's me. Set for stun. Pew pew!
In this series, she's cool girl, bisexual drug dealer. The drug dealing part doesn't really come up that much. This whole thing about her trying to find her parents, but this is all just B and C stories to the main story, which is not as interesting as who abandoned this baby for some reason. And again, it just does not make sense how much Daphne is thirsting after Velma. They never really go into it. It's clearly just something they threw together to try and attract a bigger audience, and it just ended up pissing both sides of the aisle on this one off because it was just handled so badly. The whole show was handled so badly. The dialogue is terrible, and just they do this weird thing where they double up on jokes and they don't give anything a moment to land, and that bad landing mixed with poor delivery. I've never had such a bad feeling while watching a cartoon before, man. It's just so cringe.
Me too.
And fight to see who's less vulnerable.
And speaking of, I want to be careful about how I tackle this one here, but there are so many jokes about how white people suck, which, yeah, fine, white people do suck. But they're shoehorned in with such vigor, you know? Spite, really. They don't need to be there. Sometimes they even influence the plot. Like, there's this weird bit in episode 9 where Velma is trying to get arrested, but the police won't arrest her. So in order to get arrested, she has Fred come to the police station and say, please arrest this brown woman. And they do it because a white man said.
Your presence here is like a condom in a porno. Not wanted.
But would you arrest her if someone like me said someone like her was bothering him?
Well, yeah, that would do it.
It's weird. But that's not my problem here. My problem is that this character is so unlikable. It's not like Always Sunny where all the characters are unlikable, but you kind of like them anyway because they're doing their own thing. They're having fun. You know, they're living their own lives. Velma is just constantly instigating and inserting herself into other people's lives. She wants and demands things from other people that she has no right wanting or demanding, and for some reason they keep giving it to her. It's ridiculous. This whole thing's some weird analogy for Mindy Khan's career. Like, okay, yeah, you're kind of funny. Well done. But 6 whole seasons of the Mindy Project? 6? Really? But this is not about me dunking on her. I have nothing against her personally. I just don't think she's very good in this show. I don't think she needs to be a producer in projects like this. There's another thing that really annoyed me about this show that no one else mentioned. So, the character Velma has this thing where she has visions of ghosts whenever she gets too close to the truth or some shit like that. And it looks cool. I thought the animation of that stuff was really good. And in order to break these illusions, she has to get Shaggy to make her laugh, which I just found really odd. The fact that Mindy Khan does these terrible line deliveries during it, and the fact that it takes you out the scene every time it happens. And There's so many other things going on to take you out the scene that there's nothing to grip you to this show. Nothing made me want to keep watching. I just did it out of spite, like I guess a lot of other people did. And it's probably a good thing I did, because it's in the last episode that you learn there's a reason for these hallucinations, but not a lot of people made it that far to learn that, did they? I'm one of the few that did, just so I could get to the end and more efficiently complain about why I didn't like this show. And it sucks, because I was kind of looking forward to this. I thought it would be interesting. I'm gonna just come out and say what I think the main problem with this show was. I don't think there was an adult in the room when they were writing it. That's something a lot of other people picked up on as well. It's just a very immature show for adults. If they had someone in the room who has experience in the industry and could say like, okay guys, let's focus on the needs wants goals part of this show. Let's keep it centered on a plot. Let's move things forward and find ways to keep things interesting instead of making meta jokes. We might have had something here, but there was no adult supervision and thus we did not, which is a shame. But on the upside, now that we're talking about Scooby-Doo, I get an excuse to show you this brilliant clip from an episode of Be Cool Scooby-Doo that I think is Velma's finest TV moment.
Wow, it's just so beautiful.
Its aesthetics are irrelevant, Daphne, and can be explained by science. Science is truth. Truth is beauty. Therefore, beauty is just science for people bad at math.
That's what we could have had. This is what we got.
Where are you going? There is a serial killer in the woods. Or worse, a celebrity doing a social media cleanse.
I don't care. I'm so mad at you for lying. I'm walking to town to find Wi-Fi. And even if I don't find it, I would rather call an actual taxi from a stranger's landline than spend one more second with you.
Well, kids, that's that video for the day. Another person complaining about adult cartoons online. If you want to watch some more of my... If you want to watch my better thought out points about other things, you can click the essay videos, or you can check out all the other videos on tophatsandcanes.com. Or you can check out all the other videos here on the Top Hats and Canes YouTube channel.